Have you ever wondered if Chigiri would end up surpassing Loki as a player? Does he have the potential to outrun Loki? How would this happen if he did? Continue watching this video to find out. Chigiri is known for his incredible speed in bluelock. However, he is currently being outshined by the French prodigy, Julian Loki, who is supposedly the equivalent to Kylian Mbappe from PSG. He has this kind personality as seen during the match against the World 5, but it doesn't make him any less of a beast. Right now, he is currently training Zantetsu, who is also under PXG. With this in mind, do you think Zantetsu will be faster than Chigiri at least during that time? I'm sure that these three speedsters will surprise all of us in the future. In the early stages of bluelock, Chigiri's weapon has been kept as a secret for quite a while. This was because of the ACL injury that he experienced when he was younger. This experience humbled Chigiri quite a bit. He was the opposite of Loki during his earlier years, as he always thought himself superior to others due to his naturally strong muscles, amazing skill in football, and his outstanding speed, calling himself a chosen one. He looked down on those who got in his way or annoyed him, but was mostly behaved as those stating facts. He is described as a super egoist, cocky, and the most aggressive player on the pitch. Only when he tore his ACL did his sense of superiority start to crumble, and due to being harassed by the Wanama brothers. He then became afraid of playing football due to the fear of losing who he is. He became so afraid of never playing football again that he accepted the invitation to bluelock to find a reason to give up rather than continue to strive for his dream. After getting a hold of his ego, Chigiri has shown himself to be a persistent and stubborn force on the field. He strives to leave an effect on the field, which causes other players to notice him and acknowledge his abilities. Chigiri is shown to have great focus, being a player who is constantly running through tight spaces between players and even switching from dribbling to passing. He even admits that he feels a great joy surpassing other players with his speed. When he is inspired by Isagi, he retakes his will to play and finally leaves behind his fear and begins to finally be the player that he used to be in middle school, and states that he will become the best striker in the world. Even up until now, Chigiri still has that big ego of his as shown in multiple occasions. A clear example of his ego was during the match against Japan U20. He runs out of stamina due to not having played soccer for nearly a year before going to bluelock and is substituted out. Chigiri is so frustrated that he cries once he sits on the bench. Will this ego of his be enough to push him past Loki? There have been many theories out there surrounding this question. Will Chigiri ever surpass Loki? Honestly, it doesn't seem likely that Chigiri would end up becoming the better player overall than Julian Loki. He is miles away from being a better player than Loki, and he isn't the main character. However, that doesn't mean that Chigiri will just be left in the dust. There have been hints as to what Chigiri's future beholds, and so let's talk about more of that in the rest of the video. Let's bring it back to the second selection. In the 4v4 match between Itoshi Rin and Chigiri, we notice a hint of what may happen later on in the future. As the score is tied 3-3, we see Isagi and Rin sprint past Bachira, leaving him alone in his own world. As Isagi and Rin fight for possession of the ball, Chigiri tries to tackle Rin and kicks the ball out of play. Although he was able to stop the flow of the current play, he gives Isagi a mini heart attack as he thought that he hurt his knee. Chigiri struggled to get up not because of his knee, but because he is running low on stamina. Chigiri then tells Isagi to not worry about him and focus on beating Rin. Isagi then tells him to run himself to death. Chigiri then replies saying that he doesn't need him to tell him that, but what would this line imply? Does it mean that he should keep sprinting even if it means ruining his career? Who knows? Isagi also tells himself that he was not able to hold his own against Rin, and that Chigiri was there to help him, which made an impact in the game. He also says that Chigiri will not be able to run that fast forever. Could this imply that he's eventually going to stop running in the future? Now, this is not the only time something like this has happened. Moving on to the second hint, in chapter 127, Chigiri attempts to chase down Shido as Itoshi Sai plans on passing the ball to him as soon as he gets to a free area. Chigiri sprints with top speed, but still fails to intercept the pass. Shido then shoots the ball mid-air to tie the game at 2-2. Chigiri is then seen on the ground holding onto his right leg. Isagi then comes over and asks if he's okay. It is then revealed that he just has a cramp in his leg. Isagi then comes to help him and asks about his knee. However, it seems like Chigiri is also out of stamina even though the second half just started. He tells himself about how quitting soccer and trying to run away has come back to bite him at a critical time. Could this be a sign that Chigiri could end up breaking down once again in a match that would matter the most? Chigiri then gets subbed out for Hiyori Yo. As Chigiri walks back to the sidelines, Igo Jinpachi notices Chigiri crying and asks him if he has any complaints about being swapped out. Chigiri denies it, but the truth is that frustration is locked up inside him after feeling useless during the biggest match of his life. He felt like he did not have any impact during the game, but I think he plans on changing that for the next time his team needs him. In preparation, choosing Manshine City for his club was a great choice for him, especially if he wants to improve his stamina to last longer during matches. Manshine City is an explosive team that mounts quick attacks and counters using their bodies to defy the laws of football. Due to the speed and coordination of the players, the team's defense is very solid and easily fortified by multiple players, making it hard for them to be scored on. With Chris Prince, the world's number 2, as his master, Chiguri could learn a lot more than he does now, and use it to beat Julian Loki. Although it would not seem likely to become a better player than him, given the amount of time, it is a step forward into becoming a greater player. However, we know that bluelock players evolve rapidly, so there is still a very slim chance of Chiguri's major evolvement. Now, all the players that we have been introduced to will most likely participate in the World Cup. There's a chance that we may see a U20 World Cup, but maybe not at the same time. Hypothetically, let's say that everybody competes at the World Cup. Do you guys think Igarashi would still be part of bluelock if it eventually reached the World Cup arc, assuming there is one? Everything would happen in the semi-final of the World Cup, a match between Japan and France. It would be a very close match as the speedsters of bluelock still seem to not be faster than the French prodigy, Julian Loki. As Japan is down 2-1, it would seem like all hope is lost. Everybody is already exhausted. However, Chiguri remembers the time during the second half of the bluelock vs U20 match. His body was not ready to keep up with the rest of the players around him. This time, he plans on changing all of that. Kunigami would block a player's shot attempt and the ball goes loose. Chiguri and Loki then see the ball go flying, and they sprint for possession of the ball. It would look like Loki has the upper hand as he is closer to the ball. But Chiguri doesn't back down due to not being able to create a major impact during the U20 match. He then sprints like his life depends on it, but his legs get tighter and look like they're about to break down. Chiguri, with his improved top speed and enhanced stamina, eventually takes the ball. However, there's a defender right in front of him, and Loki chasing him down. He then performs the exact same move as his first one during the first selection by tipping it in to tie the game for Japan. However, he lands awkwardly and is in pain. This would eventually be Chiguri's last play of the whole World Cup arc. But he creates a big impact by saving bluelock and giving them the determination to win the game. Do you think Chiguri will be able to beat Julian Loki even for a moment? Would Chiguri have a fairy tale ending? And if you have any other what if ideas that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments. Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Isagi had Kaiser impact since the start of the series? Check this video out right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thank you for watching.